Welcome back to Winning Workouts. We're having a look at the first of the runners here, Lamario, who's just having a quiet time at the moment in his track work, but he had a decent hit out a little later on. So lovely looking horse, started his career in Germany, been with trainer Doug Watson for a couple of runs now, and he's only a relative youngster in this field.
He is indeed. We'll get to hear from Doug in a moment. He got to speak to Craig Evans on Tuesday morning at track work. He's come back from Dubai.
Doug Watson back in Singapore with Lamario. How's he going?
Very well. Very pleased with him. I just got to see him yesterday for the first time, and he shipped over well, eaten well, and looks really well in himself.
Yesterday's just some light exercise, but a little bit more substantial this morning.
Yeah, we had planned on. He's been off since World Cup night, so we had planned to give him a little piece of work on the turf here, and he did it very well. The time was a little bit surprising to me because he looked like he did it very easy, but he came back and looked good after the work.
You had a horse in the race last year which didn't have a lot of luck, Meandra, but this guy, is he well suited to the 2000 at Kranji?
Right after he ran, we had a little bit of a stop and start season with him in Dubai, and when we finally got him going, we just had the Maktoum Challenge to run in, and he ran incredible there, only got beat 3 lengths, what was 9th, so we wanted to run back one more time. We ran in the mile, which was a bit short for him, but he came out of that well, and when he did come out of it, I saw Adrian Beaumont, and I said, can you please see if we can get into Singapore, because I believe 10 furlongs on a turf surface is his perfect trip.
Obviously he's got a European background, the turf relatively firm here in Singapore, but a nice covering of grass. He handled it very well this morning.
Yes, he did, and the turf in Dubai that he's worked across many times, he's worked very well across. It's, there's a little bit of give in it, but it's pretty similar to here, I believe.
Just back to the work this morning, he clocked a tick over 34 for the 600. Did that surprise you how quick he went?
It did really. It just looked like he was pretty much in hand on the bridle. We weren't trying to ask him to do too much, but he did it well, and I got back over to him pretty quickly, and he couldn't have blown out a candle. So I think we have him fit, and he seems a very happy horse at the moment.
Okay, so that's it for the week for him pretty well?
Yeah, we'll walk tomorrow and have a couple nice easy canter days, and then walk the day of the race and run that night and hope for the best.
So there's Doug Watson talking with Craig Evans, and he had a decent old hit out this morning, the 4-year-old. Now, moving on to last year's runner-up, it's Dan Excel. Well, interesting work from the Hong Kong horses, who have done just very steady work in the first 3 days here, and they look very fresh, both of the Military Attack and Dan Excel.
Dan Excel, I thought, was in a bit of a mood today, Matt. He even dislodged his rider at the back part of the track, so he was in a bit of a mood, but this is the sort of work they've just done, light work. Their chance Military Attack included of having a gallop on Thursday morning.
We just have a look at the ears there. He's not a happy chap, is he, Military Attack, and he eventually got him sorted out. Military Attack here going through his paces, but they'll go through some much quicker work on Thursday, and I think both horses are ready to go. They're very fresh, there's no question about that.
Guess they've had decent campaigns in Hong Kong, so they've obviously got the fitness now. It's just a matter of keeping them ticking over. As far as the vision we're showing you too, they worked over 2 laps, just showing you the second lap of their work, which is where they just went that little bit faster.
We've been doing basically the same thing now, so look out for the Hong Kong horses to really let loose tomorrow, the John Moore runners. Now, Mull of Killock, he's going through his paces here.
He is. Same sort of work as what he did yesterday, really. He only lost 5 kilos travelling over here. He'll probably have a couple of canters tomorrow, the connections are saying, and potential for him just to go a little bit quicker on Friday, Matt, if Damien Oliver would like to ride him just to get a feel of how he's acclimatised here. Damien's ridden him in Australia, but obviously not here in Singapore.
Yes, he arrived on Saturday from the UK, did Mull of Killock, but in recent times he's been all over the place, Mull of Killock. There's a nice shot of him.
Staring down the barrel of the camera, Matt.
Yes, that's a lovely shot. Abigail Harrison there.
You are getting acquainted with everybody here at track work, Matt.
Now side glance. I think I might be stumped here. No, this is Leanne Masterton.
Yeah, she's been riding the horse ever since he came here, just a couple of steady canters. She's quite happy with him. He's another one that's going to have a gallop tomorrow, Matt. So Thursday's going to be a crucial morning as far as track work. The back track they're working on, that track 7. Him and Marov Kalok have sort of done the same work. They've trotted and cantered on a one lap, come back and done another lap as well. So this is him coming towards the end of his second lap. He'll be ridden by Jamie Spencer, who of course won the McKinnon Stakes on him last year.
He did a time-honoured race, the McKinnon Stakes. We've seen him, of course, run 4th in the Dubai World Cup side, Glenn, so he's an interesting runner, trained by Andrew Balding. And you're right about tomorrow. It is going to be an interesting day with the likes of Military Attack and Dan XL to really cut loose, perhaps, and this horse Side Glance as well. Interesting to see what we get from the Japanese horse, Toko Halo. Now, Smoking Sun, I know you're quite keen on this horse. You've been talking this one up for a week or so. From France.
Well, Pascal Barry's won the International Cup here before with Gloria de Campio. His work was better this week. Well, not this week, but today. He was a little bit difficult. They say he's a unique horse, or he's got a few quirks, Matt. He doesn't like shadows and those sort of things, but he seemed more settled in his track work today.
There he is, Smoking Sun, so relatively light work for him. His most recent effort in the Prix Garnet back on the 27th of April. Prior to that, he was a Group 2 winner in the Prix d'Arcor.
He's a sort of horse too, just looking at those 2 runs, Matt, that he'll get back, and if there's decent enough pace on, that should suit him. The race, the Prix Garnet he was in, they had a couple of pacemakers like they often do in European racing, so decent enough tempo is not going to be a problem for him.
Yeah, shouldn't be an issue there. This horse should be carving out the tempo. I thought Lamario might be relatively close to the pace as well. He doesn't mind doing that, particularly in Germany before he transferred across to Doug Watson. Now, Tokay Halo, well, it was nice to see him out and about. The Japanese photographers were there. Not necessarily in force this morning, but they'll be here. And whether this is his main work remains to be seen, or whether they've got a little bit more work or slightly harder stuff in store for him in the next couple of days. We'll find out.
Okay, well, his jockey arrives later on tonight, Matt.
Yep.
And they're going to gallop him tomorrow. So
there you go.
This was just a hit out, but he clocked 45.8, so it was just really a bit of pace work for him, but I thought he looked well. And for a horse, Matt, on his first morning at Cranji, really, he only arrived yesterday. I thought it was pretty good stuff from him. The vets were happy upon his arrival, so it's all systems going. If he runs up to his Hong Kong performance, I thought he'd be a decent chance.
Yes, and I think the front-running style should suit him at Cranji. Now, City Lad, one of the local hopes. Well, he's an interesting horse. He hasn't really ever claimed a decent race, but he's run some mighty races in very good races, if you know what I mean. So whether he could win a race like this, I think, is highly debatable. But nice to have him in there, coming off his strong 4th last time out.
That's right. The issue with him is getting him to settle. I think it's great the connections have a runner in the race, but I find it highly unlikely that he would win. To me, if I was framing a market, I'd probably have him as the rank outsider, but they were happy with how he worked and they thought he settled quite well in the work. So that's all positive.
KB Sue, that's the race rider in the saddle there. KB, he has led plenty of times in his career, but Desmond Coe, the trainer in recent times, is happy enough, I think, to have him back in the pack, particularly against these sort of rivals. I'm not sure he'd be able to keep going if he's up there with the Japanese horse. Johnny Guitar. Well, you would expect pretty solid work from a Pat Shaw runner. That's the way he likes to work them before a race. And I was out there this morning having a good look at him, and he did seem to be carving out pretty good tempo.
I'm giving him a decent enough each way place chance, Matt. I really liked his run in the QE2.
Terrific run, wasn't it?
Terrific. Well, there was no tempo, and he was finishing off well, and it was a big ask for him to go from 1,200 to 2,000 metres. This is him in the straight, and he's galloped today, clocking 35.2. He quickened up that last 600 and then quickened up even further over the last 400 metres in this workout.
Yeah, Vorster calling to him there, Johnny Guitar. This is a Group 1 winner from Argentina. He's had success here. He won on the Polytrack at the Polytrack Mile Championship and of course ran a terrific race over 2,000 metres in the QE2 Cup. So he's got a chance, and he's still heading in the right direction as well. Fred Crabbier owned runner. Now Trapeus, this is the Gold Cup winner from last November. Well, in current form, it's going to be tough for him. Can he pull any surprises, I wonder?
Well, he's the last horse we're going to have a look at for the show today, Matt. 38.4. This is his last decent enough hit out. He's the sort of horse he doesn't require a heap of work, just the way he's framed. If there's decent enough tempo on, you know he can run the trip, and he'll be running on, I think. I did think last time was disappointed, but let's hope he can bounce back.
Well, this time he'll get tempo. I don't think there's too much question about that. And he does stay, so maybe that's what he needs. But I think it's a tall order for the Gold Cup winner to win the Singapore Airlines International Cup. That's it, Edward. Thanks for your company.
Thanks, Matt. Good to have you on the show today. One more special with Larry Foley tomorrow.